It's just your man Royale Watkins, a little bit of random Royale on the streets of New York City. Listen, sometimes you're walking down the streets of New York, you never know who you're going to bump into. Now, my man Patrick Barr is a dope-ass artist. He's a photographer, but more than, like I said, more than photography, he's an artist. So we just happen to be walking down the street. He's also the Urban Tiger Hoods. My man put this golf club to something real nice like, but I just want to show y'all, introduce y'all to my man Patrick Barr. He may walk you through a little bit of his work. So when you come to the streets of New York City, look for Patrick Barr. Step outside of some of these four-wall buildings and look for some of these cats in the street that's doing work that's more important than the shit in the galleries, alright? So let me introduce you to my man Patrick Barr. Introduce yourself to the world, Patrick.
Hello everybody, how you doing? That's a nice introduction, I appreciate it, thank you.
No respect, man. Let's show the people what you got, man.
Well, there's a self-portrait mirror here. I'm behind the girl. Dad is on here somewhere, but anyway, I gotta show my dad. Where's my dad? Okay, I misplaced my dad. Oh, here he is, okay. That's a picture of my dad in front of my posters about 8 years ago.
What was it like for you having your dad out here looking at your work, man?
Oh, it's very nice, you know. I mean, he's very proud of my work, and I'm glad about that.
Where'd you grow up, Patrick?
Raised in the Bronx.
In the Bronx?
I was born in Jamaica.
Okay.
Came here when I was 4 years old. There's a dead shark on Coney Island called a sand shark. They're harmless. It's a couch, OS chair, in a theme of a cow with my milk cartons in front and the golf club there. Les Paul, who invented the electric guitar. This is called Compass, called the Mermaid Bridge, the Mermaid. Cutter. Surfer doing his thing. The bull. Not the one on Wall Street, but a smaller one that he made in front of Cipriani.
Who made that?
The same artist that made the bull on Wall Street.
Okay.
He made smaller ones and had them in front of that restaurant, Cipriani, on West Broadway. Some friends of mine. I call this one needles and chins. She's putting in surgical needles in her chins and laces them up.
Okay.
And this is called first cut. He's getting a cutting with a scalpel, and that's the first cut right there. She's got her earlobes all stretched out. I call that one tongue twister. That's none better. You can always call on Jesus. Waiting for his trainer. I'm pimping the cowboy. Hey, pimping ain't easy, man. Cowboy ain't making any money. This ought to make my quota. And come here, devil, buy a paper because he's buying a final call from the Fruit of Islam. It's the world trade, 2 different days. The black is the sky here and the white is the clouds. Whereas here, the cloud is squeezing through the buildings there. And that's the 4th of July waiting for the fireworks to go off. It's a friend of mine, Tony Vera. I'm trying to do a book about park performers in Washington Square Park. So I've been gathering pictures of different performers. This is Johnny Fox with an industrial-sized screwdriver in his mouth there. And Tony rubbing fire on his arm and having it in his mouth there.
Well, you mentioned Tony. I'm going to show you. I think you have a picture of one of the most important street performers down here on the ground. I want you to show us that picture. And we got 2 pictures. Let's start with this one right here on the right. Tell us about this gentleman right here.
Well, this is Albert Owens. He passed away this year. Brilliant comedian. And Dave Chappelle used to watch him perform.
See the other picture?
I took this picture in 97 of Dave Chappelle and Albert Owens and King Palooza sitting in the park there. Dave was just hanging out on like a Monday afternoon. And Dave used to watch Albert and King perform. Before he came out his own thing.
Well, I'm going to tell you what's interesting about this. Because Dave came up to New York City in I think about 89, 90. And he was a young kid. He's from Washington, D.C., and I'm a comic from Washington, D.C., a personal friend of mine. And I actually gave him a ride up to New York City because he was too young to go up by himself. So it's just really interesting that I happened to bump into you. You have these photos, man, and I see Albert Owens, and then, you know, when you start talking about street performance, you can't help but talk about, you know, Charles Barnett, who's probably, you know, probably the king of street performance, you know? And so, again, I'm glad I got the opportunity to introduce you to my audience. Patrick Barr, street artist. Come to New York City, look for Patrick Barr, and don't just look, but spend some money. And if we're lucky, we're going to get them to show you what the Tiger Hoods look like. Alright? Alright, a little bit of random Royale. We'll holler back at you.
Yeah. Nice job, man.